Hold on to your cowboy hats, folks, because things just got real in Big Sky Country. Montana, the land of sprawling plains and majestic mountains, has become the first state to ban TikTok. That's right, the social media giant known for its catchy dance trends and viral challenges has been deemed a national security threat. The state government argues that TikTok's Chinese ownership poses a risk to user data. They claim that the Chinese government could access this data, using it for nefarious purposes like espionage or propaganda. Now I know what you're thinking. John, isn't this a bit dramatic? It's just an app, but Montana isn't messing around. They've passed a law that makes it illegal for app stores to offer TikTok within the state. This means that even if you're a die-hard TikToker, you won't be able to download or update the app if you're in Montana. This ban isn't just about protecting data, though. It's a shot across the bow in a much larger battle between the US and China over technology and global influence. TikTok, with its billion-plus users worldwide, is caught right in the crosshairs. So, what does this all mean for the future of TikTok in America? Buckle up because it's going to be a bumpy ride. TikTok, facing a showdown in the Wild West of Montana, isn't going down without a fight. The social media giant has come out swinging, challenging the ban on multiple fronts. Their main argument? This isn't about national security, it's an assault on the First Amendment. TikTok claims that Montana's ban is a blatant attempt to stifle free speech and expression. They argue that the app is a platform for creativity, a place where people share their thoughts, talents, and yes, even their dance moves. To ban TikTok, they say, is to silence the voices of millions of Americans who use the app to connect and express themselves. But it's not just about free speech, folks. TikTok is also crying foul on what they see as a massive overreach of state power. They argue that Montana is setting a dangerous precedent, one where states can arbitrarily ban any app or website they deem a threat, regardless of actual evidence. This legal battle is far from over, and the stakes couldn't be higher. If Montana's ban is upheld, it could pave the way for other states to follow suit, potentially fragmenting the internet and creating a patchwork of digital borders across the US. In a move that sent shockwaves through the tech world, the Supreme Court has declined to hear TikTok's appeal against Montana's ban. This decision, while procedural, is a significant setback for the social media giant and has far-reaching implications for the future of online freedom. The Supreme Court's silence effectively upholds Montana's ban, at least for now. While the court didn't issue a ruling on the merits of the case, their refusal to hear the appeal leaves TikTok in a precarious legal position. This decision has left many legal experts scratching their heads. Some speculate that the court may be hesitant to wade into the complex and rapidly evolving world of technology and national security. Others believe that the justices may be waiting for a more developed factual record before weighing in on the constitutionality of state-level TikTok bans. Whatever the reason, the Supreme Court's inaction sends a chilling message. States may have more leeway than previously thought when it comes to regulating social media platforms, even if it means curtailing First Amendment rights. With the Supreme Court declining to hear TikTok's appeal, all eyes are now on the rest of the country. Will other states follow Montana's lead and enact their own bans? The legal and political landscape surrounding TikTok is incredibly fluid. Several states are considering similar bans, citing national security concerns. A wave of state-level bans could devastate TikTok's business in the US. However, TikTok is fighting back in the courts and the court of public opinion. The future of TikTok in America hangs in the balance. The battle over TikTok isn't just an American story. It has global implications for the future of the internet. As countries grapple with the rise of Chinese tech giants and the geopolitical implications of data security, we're witnessing a potential fracturing of the digital world. The internet, once envisioned as a borderless space for information and connection, is increasingly being carved up along national lines. Countries are erecting digital barriers, blocking access to websites and apps deemed a threat to their national interests or values. This trend towards a splinternet is driven by a complex interplay of factors, including national security concerns, economic competition, and censorship. The TikTok case is a stark example of how these forces are colliding, with potentially far-reaching consequences. If countries continue to build walls in the digital world, it could stifle innovation, limit access to information, and undermine the free flow of ideas that the internet was built upon. It could also create a more divided and polarized online experience, where people are primarily exposed to information that reinforces their existing beliefs and biases. The stakes are high, and the outcome of this battle will shape the digital landscape for generations to come. Legal battles and political maneuvering. TikTok, facing an uphill battle in the United States, is gearing up for a protracted legal and political fight. The company is pursuing multiple avenues to challenge Montana's ban and prevent similar measures from being enacted elsewhere. On the legal front, TikTok is appealing the Supreme Court's decision not to hear their case. They are also preparing to file lawsuits against other states that attempt to implement similar bans. These legal challenges will likely center around First Amendment arguments and claims that state governments are overstepping their authority. Simultaneously, TikTok is ramping up its lobbying efforts in Washington, D.C. The company is engaging with lawmakers from both sides of the aisle, emphasizing the economic consequences of a nationwide ban and highlighting the platform's efforts to address data security concerns. This multi-pronged strategy reflects the complexity of the challenges facing TikTok. The company must navigate a treacherous legal landscape while also grappling with shifting political winds and a skeptical public. The outcome of this battle remains uncertain. However, one thing is clear. TikTok is determined to fight for its survival in the United States, and this fight is far from over. The TikTok saga shines a light on a much larger issue: the ongoing struggle to balance data privacy and national security in the digital age. As our lives become increasingly intertwined with technology, the data we generate has become a valuable commodity, coveted by both corporations and governments. The challenge lies in finding a way to protect individual privacy, while also safeguarding national security. Striking this balance is no easy feat, as the two often seem at odds. Governments argue that access to user data is essential for preventing terrorism and other threats. Privacy advocates counter that such access, especially when conducted without adequate oversight, can lead to government overreach and the erosion of civil liberties. The TikTok case highlights the complexities of this debate. Is it legitimate for a government to ban an entire social media platform based on the perceived risk posed by its country of origin? Where do we draw the line between legitimate national security concerns and protectionist measures that stifle innovation and limit online freedom? These are questions with no easy answers. As technology continues to evolve at a rapid pace, we must engage in a thoughtful and nuanced conversation about how to protect both our data and our freedoms in the digital age. So what does the future hold for TikTok and more broadly for online freedom in the United States? The answer, my friends, is as clear as mud. The legal battles are far from over, the political landscape is constantly shifting, and the only certainty is more uncertainty. One thing is for sure: the TikTok saga is a wake-up call. It highlights the growing power of tech companies, the increasing reach of government surveillance, and the fragility of online freedom in an era of geopolitical tensions. As users, we often find ourselves caught in the crossfire. Our data is collected, analyzed, and monetized by corporations. Our online activity is tracked and monitored by governments. And our ability to access information and connect with others is increasingly subject to the whims of algorithms and the decisions of powerful gatekeepers. So what can we do? We can stay informed, engage in critical thinking, and demand greater transparency and accountability from both tech companies and governments. We can support organizations fighting for digital rights and privacy. And we can make our voices heard, advocating for a future where online freedom is the rule, not the exception. The future of the internet and our place in it is not predetermined. It's up to us to shape it. So let's get to work.